Welcome, everyone, to the Plastic Cards Podcast, the show where we break down the video game news of the week. My name is Fonzie. I'm joined by my indie game dev extraordinaire, beautiful man, Gavin Jones. How are you doing?
You don't have the script anymore.
Nope, it's off the top of the dome. The dome sucks, so it's not something that should be used.
We don't have the puns. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
You're dying, but other than that...
yeah, dying quickly. Slowly just ingesting poison night after night.
Right,
Yeah.
let's wash it down. But yeah, some alcohol there. I didn't ask you, how's your weekend?
It was good. Just busy. Saw some family on Saturday. Didn't play much in the way of games, but played a little bit. Played some of that World of Horror, which was creepy.
Oh, you actually played it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, I know you told me about that trailer. Okay.
Yeah, played something else that I've forgotten.
Yep.
I'm sure I wrote it down, and if now forgotten, I'm sure it'll pop up later in the podcast.
PC, right?
Yeah, PC. I played a little bit of that demo you sent me today.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I want to get into that.
I am bad at it.
Gotcha. It seemed like on paper up your alley because like the whole
Yes.
first-person shooter roguelike thing.
Yeah. But yeah, what about you? Get injecting that Fortnite right into the veins.
Yeah, that's the thing. I only played games this weekend. I was just a complete pile of shit and just stayed at home the entire weekend basically.
Yeah.
And played Fortnite and feel pretty proud of myself. I'm 31-year-old man and just played Fortnite all weekend.
We did fail to go see Sonic.
Yeah. I thought about messaging you. We should go see it at some point.
Right. Yeah.
I do want to see it, but good luck tearing me away from my V-Bucks and my floss dance.
I do feel cheap that you called it Fortnite Season 2. Like, that makes it sound like
better or worse? What are you thinking?
I mean, it makes it sound like it's not just more Fortnite.
Oh yeah, it is just more Fortnite, yes.
Fortnite 2.
Look, Gav, you don't understand. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of features that they've added.
Yeah, they're already on season or what do they call it? Season 3, but it's supposed to be Fortnite 2, so it's new.
Right, because it's like Chapter 2. Parentheses, it's like this Japanese anime title because it's Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 1 Season 2 no Season 2 so it doesn't matter, it's fucking it's
Does
Fortnite.
it still have the mechs?
It doesn't. So they've made a lot of changes in kind of like stuff that's worked they've kept and stuff that hasn't they've removed. Basically all the vehicles that used to be there, it's just boats, so stuff like that. At one point in one of the seasons that in that first chapter there were these gondolas you could ride and quickly get around the whole map. That's basically gone, and so there's just like one part of the map that has that. Yeah, you could just like jump on it and just shoot your way through. There was planes that got rid of that. So they have all these changes they've made throughout the whole year and a half now. But yeah, now they're on the new season, and it's something about it. It's just like Call of Duty. Like, it just gets me in. The changes are just enough where there's enough new features.
Yeah. And
yeah, I just was having a blast and wanted to upgrade and level up.
Yeah. Speaking of Call of Duties, my coworker's all about it right now, and I just it very much surprises me that people are as into this new Call of Duty as they are, because really playing that demo I did, I was turned off by how I was getting murdered from every angle. Like, I was so frustrated. I'm surprised more people weren't, but
I hear you. You know what? That was the other game that I played this weekend too. I jumped in and out of Call of Duty, just because there was this. They also had a new season battle pass thing that I did not buy, but there are these new features like you can dual wield a pistol, and so that's why I wanted to jump back in to do that. It was fucking dope, and I wasn't any better, but it was just felt fun to just quickly move the triggers around, and there's some new maps and stuff.
I saw. I was watching somebody on Twitch playing it just because of the screenshot alone. That was like the little placeholder. And I saw him dual wielding pistols with giant.
Like a 50 caliber pistol or whatever.
I don't know, but they had giant silencers on them, like laser beams and all sorts of scopes. Like, it looked like he was dual wielding rifles.
Yeah, two assault rifles. It's weird because in the single player, there's this point where you can, in the storyline, you can thread on a oil filter as a silencer. Like, you can do that as as an impromptu silencer. You can do that also in multiplayer. You can just, for some reason, if you want to have a oil can as your silencer, you can do that. So,
pretty convenient that oil can just happens to be the same thread as size of your.
There's no way that would work. You're not MacGyver to just screw it on there. Or you go cool, then you shoot it and just go boing and just flies off as soon as you shoot your first.
Right. It kind of reminds me of, there was, I think, like a YouTube video way back in the day, old memes of somebody made a homemade silencer and they like made it with a can and they like duct taped it onto the end of their gun. I'm pretty sure the first time they shoot it, it just flies off.
Takes a gun with it too.
It's like Thor's hammer, except for not taking Thor with it.
Yeah, just shoots across. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, played like a lot of games. I should have gone and done actual stuff, but I did not. I was just
Right.
And upgrade my characters and buy the cool new stuff. And they always get me with like the new. It's almost like action figures, just like collecting these various like abilities, not abilities, just characters in general, like all the different people you can unlock.
Yeah.
Or buy. Really, you have to buy them.
It did remind me a little bit. I did play a tiny bit of one of my favorite games of all time this weekend, Nuclear Throne.
I haven't seen that. You might have talked about that before.
Yeah.
How was that?
It's amazing. It's definitely I've put the amount of hours I put in this game are stupid. I think I put over 300 hours into this game, I believe, which is a lot. Yeah. It's super fun. It's like I don't like bullet hell, and this is definitely semi-bullet hell, but once you just get in the zone and the weapons and everything about it, it's just at that character in particular, you sacrifice your life to like pop out these little clones that will shoot. So on if especially on that level, you tend to get a lot of health back, so you can like have at one point you can have way more enemies than were ever on the level.
Oh god.
Or way more clones, and it's just it's a lot of fun. It's really the skill cap is just ridiculous. It's just super fun.
Were you playing this on PC as well or Switch?
Yeah, PC.
Gotcha. You ever whip out that Switch? A lot of these are also on Switch.
Oh, that's the other game I played a little bit this weekend. I played a little bit more of the Tourist. And
Tourist, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I showed you last week, or you put a Y in front of instead of a I.
Damn it, because I do remember. I'm just gonna let Google figure this out. Jesus.
So the I.
Is it on Switch?
Yeah, Switch Tourist.
And is it TY or
TOU?
TOU.
R. There. Yeah, there you go.
Gotcha.
So is that sort of voxel looking game?
Right.
Or I guess it's more. It's not really voxels. It's squares. But yeah, I was playing some more of this. I'm having a lot of fun. It's really the only thing that kind of kills it for me is the platforming in this game is dummy hard. Like,
is it because of the perspective, or
it's the perspective? It's kind of the controls. But I just really like enjoying exploring the worlds. It kind of reminds me of it's almost like somebody took a classic Flash game. Specifically, there was this one weird Flash game from way back in the day where you had to go around these islands. They were all on an island, all three of them, and collect hentai, and they were super weird. But they also had the character that looked exactly like this, and like the concept was weird, but the actual game was really fun. Like you'd be doing these crazy missions for people, and then there was an arcade exactly like this. It's like somebody tried to make a non-perverted version of that game, and it's it's super fun.
I love the style, the whole voxel thing going on. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Nice. So you're playing that on Switch?
Yeah, on Switch.
Gotcha. Nice. Well, we actually played some games this weekend. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You watch anything crazy?
I watched some of I think it was Frostbite. It was Smash Bros. As well as Smash Bros. Ultimate, Melee, and then Rivals of Ether game were played there, and it was a lot of fun.
You got your popcorn ready, and you're just glued to the TV screen or your computer screen watching.
It's fun to watch. Okay. It's neat to see, and the person that won it with that brand new Smash character, and he's been.
Which one?
I forget their name.
Was it one of the
Blythe or something? Yeah. So and that it just whipped it out. I hadn't seen him. I hadn't been watching the whole thing, but I definitely hadn't seen him been playing with it throughout that tournament. People are used to seeing him play Joker, and his Joker is just fucking mean.
Gotcha.
But so that was pretty darn cool.
See, that reminded me of there was this article over the weekend of this really young Pokemon tournament winner, and everyone's just fall in love with this cool kid playing Smash, not Smash, but Pokemon what have you.
Yeah, if you kind of watch the clip where it all goes down, it really kind of looks like he won it in the last kind of just like the opponent just made just the wrong move and he capitalized on it perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kid is.
I feel like they're having this tournament in like a McDonald's lobby or something on their shitty Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
These
it
kids
does.
are
It does
into
kind
it,
of have
man.
that look.
Was there an actual like limit on the age group? Like this is a
Yeah,
you
there are
know,
different age groups
Gotcha.
for sure.
little bosses,
Yeah,
and they just win that EV plush or whatever. Is there money on the line or something?
I don't know. Look at that poker face.
Right.
This kid's over here like.
Crying and freaking out.
Simone is just like, yeah, what of it? Wave your hand some more, see if that helps you.
Yeah.
Fucking won't.
Fox Vine just drops the switch on the floor. Whoops.
Yeah.
That's adorable. That's awesome. I wonder when you start off that young, what
The
is
size of
future?
those shoes.
Yeah. Just got some Air Force Ones or something. Those are dope. Almost like wheelies. I'm just gonna wheel off of them.
Right.
When you start off that young, what's the future look like? I mean, there's a she has
Probably
like,
more of this.
Yeah,
I know.
that's
I
pretty
know
cool.
a lot of the younger kids tend to have. When I've watched in the past, and every time I do watch, I'm like bored. But it tends to be the younger kids have like an older brother, or sister, or whatever, that older sibling that have been playing the game, so they kind of teach them this since they're young.
Yeah.
Which, you know, if you do that right, you end up with another. What's his name? Not Echo Fox, Sonic Fox.
Oh sure.
Because there was that
Like
kid that.
Prodigy and he also
Yeah, he'd been playing fighting games since he could hold a controller,
Right.
and then now he's just a monster. So
I
I
should have left the controller unplugged for all my nieces and nephews growing up. I should have had them play with me, but
You just gotta. Well, but that kid's been playing pros since he could hold a controller.
Right.
Playing you is just gonna. Yes, offense.
Yeah, I feel sorry. Let me win.
Yes, we should probably talk about the big story of the day.
Yeah, we got some news. This is,
Microsoft is, you know, they've been definitely revealing a lot more than Sony. And today they just went ahead and took a pic of it, took a snap, whipped it out,
Yep.
and
we're
put it
all
on the
asking
gram.
for it.
Not even private.
Nope. But this is something we all wanted to see. So
Yeah.
let me get the details. The deets, as
Isn't
the
this
kids
the-
say,
the-
Gavin.
This is the Game Awards.
Yeah, this is just my generic B-roll for the, like, well, I seduce you with the details of Microsoft's reveal. So the actual article was from, well, Phil Spencer himself. He
Right.
he actually wrote the article and talked about that this morning. Microsoft has revealed new features for Xbox Series X from Phil Spencer himself. The big takeaway, yeah, you can adjust that.
There you
a
go.
little bit.
That's off. I just wanted the YouTube stuff to go.
Oh,
there.
gotcha. Yeah, there you go. So 12 teraflops, it's a big deal. That's what I feel like a big takeaway.
That was kind of what people that were talking about. They're like, yeah, 12 teraflops is actually a good amount.
Which I don't know what a teraflop is, so you can
Neither do
stack
I.
12 of them. Sweet. That's the beauty of when they actually have an E3. They can say 12 teraflops and then show here's what that looks like. I know we've seen, some examples, but yeah.
I think they said it's like 4 times an Xbox One, 2 times an Xbox One X, which does
Yeah.
admittedly speak to the power of the Xbox One X.
Yeah, it's delivering 4 times the processing power of an Xbox One. Yes, and it's enabling developers to leverage 12 teraflops of GPU graphics processing unit performance. That's twice Xbox One, more than 8 times original Xbox One. They did confirm ray tracing is going to be there. It's hardware accelerated,
Right.
and not software.
Sony will have as well, which puts them both on even footing.
Yeah, pretty excited for that. I really want to see this ray tracing on console hardware going forward because they both said it's going to be there. I want to see what that looks like.
Right.
We've seen PC stuff already, but quick resume for
It's
multiple
going to look
games.
just like that.
That's awesome. That's fine.
Right.
Quick resume for multiple games. I enjoy that on PlayStation. I think it's there a little bit on Xbox, but this is multiple games you can have just like waiting. You can pause them
Yeah.
and go back in.
And it's definitely neat with multiple games. I've never seen that. Like it's been nice with my Switch. I'll put that thing. I'll forget that I've.
Oh yeah, sure.
And that was definitely nice when I was playing through Breath of the Wild. Like I basically never came back to the menu. It was always.
Yep, because you could just stay there and pause it. Yeah.
Yeah. So multiple games. That's definitely pretty neat.
Right. And I'm not sure how many. They just say multiple, but I'm fine with a couple. I mean, I'm really not really juggling that many games in reality, but
yeah.
So there's some details on dynamic latency input. We're optimizing latency in the player to console pipeline, starting with our Xbox wireless controller. So just working on latency.
This was kind of a lot of buzzwords when they talk about this.
There's one buzzword that fucking triggers me, and I hate that we talk about it, but it's in there, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
You'll see me freak out. Next gen SSD, they just confirmed that, and that's something they talked about already. It's going to support Xbox original 360 and then Xbox One games.
Can we I'm going to stop here for 1 second. I appreciate that Phil Spencer here has
this is what's
he may not be in the that's not Phil Spencer.
No, I think you're right. I'm good for
he may not be in the best shape, but he is literally I've never seen him in worse or better shape. He is in the most consistent shape of your life. I don't even think he's aged. They just pull him out of the freezer every year.
That's true. No, and it's a hard thing to keep a consistent, thing going health wise. Yeah.
So he's at least working out. Mm-hmm. Like he's putting in the hours.
Not any more than that.
Right.
And I'm not talking shit. He's in way better shape.
Right. Oh, absolutely. But yeah, that was just I just now realized he's incredibly consistent. Probably healthy for it. So good for Phil.
It's the power of 12 teraflops.
Random. I feel like if he saw this, he'd be like, "The fuck, guys! I've never looked better, you dicks."
Well, he's looking good. We have smart delivery. This is a big one. So this is, we're going through the details here. This technology empowers you to buy a game once and know that whether you're playing on an Xbox One, Xbox Series X.
They kind of said this though.
Well, have they? I mean, they kind of confirmed that this is like a legit feature. And it's pretty dope for consumers anyways. You're getting the right version of that game on whatever Xbox you're playing on. We're making the commitment to use smart delivery on all our Xbox Game Studio titles, including Halo Infinite, ensuring you only have to purchase a title once in order to play the best available version of whichever Xbox console you choose to play it on. So, in short, when you buy the game once, it works on Xbox One, Series X, on Xbox One original. And then Cyberpunk jumped on that by tweeting this morning that they're also going to support that day one in Cyberpunk 2077. So if you buy it now, it's going to work on the Series X, whichever title you buy it on.
Right. It's pretty fucking cool. When you look at the fact that it's kind of it's probably just like a setting basically between versions of a PC version. Right. Is it that impressive? No, but it's also the first time a console has had it.
That's the thing. This is all the same stuff we see in PC world, but this is a whole new era with console gaming. So now we have that kind of stuff. And with PC gaming, I mean, you have these different. You have your potato version of your PC. You have your mid range, your high. So they're already used to that. It's just now because the components, I imagine, it's all one in one with like console and PC games. So it's easy for them to just turn it over and do that same thing. Yeah, which is dope.
Yeah, it's very cool. And I think, again, something I kind of predicted, or not predicted, I mean, I'm just going along with it at this point, but I think it's going to be a really smooth transition. The fact that you can play these games. I still don't know if it's confirmed that you can play Xbox, Series X games with the X Cloud.
Interesting.
But I don't think it's out of range. So the fact that you can, have your Xbox One or your Xbox One X and then... you get the new console, so maybe you're investing into the xCloud. You can kind of play that until eventually the itch gets you and you buy the new series.
Yep.
And you can play it on your phone. Like, it seems like Microsoft's strategy to have your games playable everywhere. And it almost, in a way, like it's been, they have a hard time making Sony look bad because Sony's got the exclusives. They do. They've been trying to, at least they've been offering, the ability for crossplay. But now you can crossplay on just about anything. And if they ever do actually announce that you can play these things on the Switch, like, can you imagine how much like lunch they would be eating on Sony? Like, you can play it on everything. Like, and I definitely, if you could play on the xCloud with the Microsoft on the Switch with the whatchamacallit, the Game Pass.
Oh, sure.
I'd finally have it at that point.
That's also how the Switch kind of stays in the game for longer because a lot of these Switch games we're getting are PC ports and they just can't. Eventually, that old Switch hardware is gonna be harder and harder for them to kind of make those not remakes but like ports over. But if you can have that streaming, that gives you a little bit more time before you have to release the next Switch. That'd be great. And they already have a good relationship. That was a rumor months ago, but that rumor kind of went away. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes with that. So we'll see, but that is a great
at the end of the day, it could have just been a rumor.
That's true. It just seems like it's a rumor, but it seems possible or a no-brainer. But I know, like legally or deal-wise, it's harder for these companies to work together.
Yeah.
The one thing they ended with was, which I don't like at all. It's 120 frame per second support. I feel like we shouldn't be talking, like as far as these companies rather, shouldn't be saying 120 frames per second because it doesn't matter. It's also not really doable. If you're thinking like 4K, you're thinking this high frame rate, like why even say that? 60 is already fine. Like at least if we can get it to there.
That's what they're trying to make standard, but there's literally nothing they can do to enforce it.
That's true. It depends on the dev and like what game is going to support this. Maybe you can get there's that really popular shooter that was a Half-Life mod. I'm blanking on the name, but that people constantly play that on like super high frame rates. Not Crossfire. I'm blanking on the name of it. But
Counter-Strike?
Counter-Strike. There you go. People play that on like super high frame rates all the time. So like if you ported that, okay, you could play that on 120 frames per second.
It is kind of interesting that you combine this with the they have that new, they're saying it's ultra low latency for controller tech, and then they also mention that they have the sync with your monitor, so your monitor latency is lower, your controller latency is lower, your hard drive loading latency is lower. I think the big thing though, that latency lowering with the monitor and your controller, I think they may be trying to corner the fighting game scene, because if that's the fastest, that's the standard. Yeah. You're not gonna play on. Can you imagine people like, oh, I trained on Xbox and now I go to a tournament and play on shitty PlayStation? Like, what is this garbage? So I think that'll be and lots of monitors support that, especially the ones they play at fighting games. Like they got those BenQ monitors. I think that's the thing. Maybe I'm talking about my ass, but they could be the standard and awesome. Yeah. I mean that's another reason how that secures them into just better graces with consumers and with fans. This is still more speculation, but does that worry you any more about the price? The fact that they're showing some of these features or confirming these features? Are we still in an insane price range? What do you think? I think they're feeling pretty confident right now. I have a feeling Sony's doing more custom stuff, and that's driving up the price tag. I think Microsoft's doing a little bit more off the shelf and a little bit more doable stuff. So I think that's part of the reason they're so confident. Gotcha. And the fact that they're clearly making good time. Yeah. Like they're announcing all this stuff. They're at pace. I'm more worried about Sony at this point. It gets weirder at this point, yeah, because and maybe Xbox is just following that more of a standard announcement time frame. Yeah. But it makes you feel good that like they're going in the right direction. They're having their ducks in the row and knowing when they want to make these announcements. Yeah. It seems like Sony is waiting for something weird. As far as when they'd start talking about this, I don't know, but I mean, Xbox is owning the narrative right now. Yeah, absolutely. They've got the whole thing. They've got the publishing rights. They got the book deal. Yeah. George R. R. Martin. They got George R. R. Martin to finally publish something like. Movie's ready to go with Harry Potter playing The Rock. Something like that. Harry Potter playing The Rock? That's my fan fiction. Sorry. Can I please watch Daniel Radcliffe attempt to play The Rock in his origin story? That would just... That could be dope. Have you seen... I haven't watched the trailer yet, but it's that Guns Akimbo or something like... what's that Daniel Radcliffe movie where he has these guns duct taped to his hands? It looked... God, it looks upsetting. Really? Is it? I didn't watch the trailer. I don't know what... I mean, he's just... It's basically like this world where... this guy will force two people to fight to the death, and so this guy he screws the gun to his hand. Oh, so these are in there. Just taped on their fun. Okay. No, they're screwed to his hand. Jesus. His hands are screwed to this gun, and he can't. It's kind of funny because when he wakes up, he has no clothes on. Yeah, and like trying to put clothes on when you have guns on your hands, you can't do it. Trying to open the doorknob. How does he reload, or what's to do with ammo? Did they show that? I don't know. So maybe he. And then you're good. You don't have to maybe he can't. But and the thing to go with it was so he's trying to I know in the trailer they show him talking to the other gal that's trying to kill him. He's like, let's team up and kill the guy that's trying to kill us or trying to get us to kill each other. Yeah. And she's clearly a badass and was like, nah, fuck it.
I see. Huh.
So it looks.
I didn't watch that trailer yet, but
yeah,
I
it
just
looks.
remember seeing a little bit.
I just love that Daniel Radcliffe has enough money that he just does whatever the fuck he wants, and some of his projects are really cool. Did you ever watch Horns?
Yeah, that was a cool movie. I think it's
God, it was good. Yeah, upsetting, but it was good.
But it was weird and
yeah,
moody, and I like that whole direction he's going. Yeah. He reminds me a lot of Pattinson, who they both came off like hugely successful franchises.
Pattinson,
Robert Pattinson,
the New Batman.
New Batman. They're very similar with they're taking these creative roles, whatever they want to do, they're doing it.
Yeah,
and they're kind of reinventing their career, and Pattinson's doing the same thing.
I feel like someone that did the same thing, but I also don't feel like they had a tenth of the money these two do. Is who's Frodo?
Oh yes. God, I'm blanking on his name, but Frodo. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think he has near the money these guys do, but he just does the funnest projects.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what you gotta do. You made your money and just kind of do creatively what you want to do.
Yeah.
Gavin, everyone's freaking out over this coronavirus. We have news that Square Enix has joined Sony in canceling their PAX East plans. So this article is from Chris Carter of Destructoid. Considerations for the coronavirus have caused another studio to pull out of PAX East in addition to Sony. Square Enix.
I think Kojima canceled his plans as well.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone's pulling out. Square Enix's Final Fantasy. Gavin, will you help me with this? Is that 13, 14, something like that?
I think that's 14.
14, yeah, because it's always like the backwards.
Yeah, you got 10 plus 5 minus 1.
Just write in American, right? 14. How about we do that? Square Enix Final Fantasy.
Write in American.
Write American. That's all I ask.
There's this Greek shit up in here.
Build that wall, write the American version. Okay.
Oh my God.
Final Fantasy 14's Japanese team are pulling out of the show entirely due to health concerns. GDC is also seeing its fair share of cancellations as Sony and Facebook Gaming, Oculus, have pulled out of that show due to the evolving public health crisis or health risks. Yeah. For reference, GDC, EGX, Rezzed, and South by Southwest Gaming are set to take place next month. We might be looking at more cancellations as more studios pull out. Boston Mayor Marty Walsh urged Sony to reconsider, citing the likelihood of coronavirus being present in Boston was very low.
Yeah.
Sony was set to unveil the first playable demo of Last of Us 2 at PAX East. Yeah, so that's a pretty big bummer for the people that were waiting, because that was a big deal that they're going to show off Last of Us 2 for the first time, or as far as like playable.
This game's never happening.
You think so? You think we'll get pushed again? Or you're just
no, to me it just seems weird that we've seriously seen nothing of this game.
There's footage
of gameplay.
Yeah,
there is.
But Gavin, you're not a Last of Us fan like me. I tell you, you got to finish the first one and then talk to me, man. Yeah, there's a. So
what are you gonna do if you know Ellie lives?
They let the public play this, or not the public, games journalists play this a couple months ago, and so they're playing what these. Did you
just say game trailers?
What was it?
Did you just say game trailers?
No, it was gameplay. Like they got to play the actual game here.
Gotcha.
So Story didn't release trailer, but there's actual like gameplay. Here we go. Yeah, the game. I think you looked at footage of this because remember we talked about like debating.
That's just 2018. All right, there's 2019.
Yeah, gameplay reveal, and there's if we like Googled.
But that's from 2018. That was the first time we saw it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's not gameplay.
Yes, I guess.
Well, there's that one. Blue.
This is October. Yeah. This stuff they've put out already. No, that's that first.
Oh
trailer.
yeah, this is the stuff that I still
Okay,
don't
this is the
believe
actual demo. Okay, so this is footage from the demo. So the games journalists have been able to play this, but this is the first time the public is playing this. I mean, I thought it looked dope, but
yeah. And
they pushed it further. You know what? Into good 5 months because it was originally February something. Like we would have been playing this already, but now it's later, in around June, July. Yeah. No, May. Sorry, May. But no, yeah, it's these scenes, select scenes that they're showing off, but they're showing something off.
Yeah,
I
just want to see the unrealistic movement happen. That's all I want to see.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's tons of footage.
Give me that stuff that I don't believe is real. Oh, that's cool. So you can see your scent trail for some reason with your scent vision.
The dogs,
video games.
The dogs can smell you. That was a big thing. Yeah. But yeah. So there's stuff out there, Gavin. There's stuff out there.
All right. Are there still zombies in that game? I don't think we've seen any zombies.
Yeah, Gavin, do you live on this planet?
No.
We talked about this a couple months ago because they talked about the dogs. There's this new monsters where they emit this gas, almost like mushroom, like the pores of mushrooms. How they just like poop out that powder stuff. It's like that. There's a walking one like that, and there's the same zombies that you've seen before. Humans are still a big threat as well. But yeah, it's all in there.
There you go.
So, Gavin, this is Rap Reality. This is Borderlands movie adaptation in the works from Eli Roth.
I don't even know how you do this. Also, I don't know who Eli Roth is, and I'm not sure I trust them with this movie franchise. You know who I'd absolutely trust with this franchise?
Who?
The director for Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz.
Yep.
Like, he could kick this style in the
He's really good with
ass.
comedy. Like,
Yeah.
that's his whole forte.
Well, just doing stuff stylishly. Everything he does is stylish. This game is stylish.
Right.
They need somebody that can pull that off. Or Guy Ritchie, throwing a Guy Ritchie. Like,
Oh, that's a good out of left field kind of take. I like that.
yeah.
Idea. So, Gavin, have the details. And some of the movie references that they worked on will help you kind of figure out what this movie's going to look like. So, they've written articles from Eaton Blessing of The Hollywood Reporter, Cabin Fever and Hostel director Eli Roth, so that's what he's known for, is set to helm the film adaptation of Borderlands, the action movie game franchise from Lionsgate. Emmy-winning screenwriter Craig Mazin penned the script for the project. I'm so excited to dive into the world of Borderlands, and I could not be doing it with a better script, producing team, and studio. I have a long, successful history with Lionsgate. I feel like we've grown up together, that everything in my directing career has led to a project of this scale and ambition, Roth said Thursday in a statement. So Craig Mazin, who's doing the script, he's known for HBO's Chernobyl miniseries. Did you watch that?
So we've got serious writers on this thing. I'm concerned.
One writer. So, that's the key writer. Producer A.V. Arid is known for all the Sony Marvel Spider-Man movies. So all of them going back to like Sam Raimi.
All of them?
Yeah, apparently all of them. Venom, the Blade series.
So you know he's inconsistent.
That's true. There's some bangers in there, and there's some hot dog shit in there too.
Oh, yeah.
Eric Feige, producer at Lionsgate, is known for the Step Up series. So Step It Up 2, The Streets, Step Up 3D, those dance movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hearing the words you're saying.
It's up and down. I feel like there's some weird
I
potential.
didn't hear much up in there.
Well, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. What do you think with because how would you imagine the tone of a Borderlands movie? First of all, I don't know who's asking for this, but if you were to make this movie,
literally no one.
Right? But like, it could be a successful movie franchise. We just saw Sonic do gangbusters at the theater.
I hear it was a bad video game movie, though. I hear Sonic is a good kids movie and a bad video game movie, which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they need to make their nut back. They need to make that money.
Right.
So,
do typically people ask for their nut back?
I guess in terms of whatever they put in, they're trying to get it back. So that's what I always ask for. But yeah, what would you, if you were to imagine this movie? You mentioned, Guy Ritchie, these possible directors. You have to match the action with the comedic tone, though, right? Can't just be like gory, and because that's what Eli Roth's kind of known for. Hostile.
Can we get like a who did fucking Guardians of the Galaxy? Like we did that.
Yeah.
Actually, that art style for that movie.
That was Taika
terrific.
Waititi did the last. No, he did Thor.
He did Thor. I think. No, I don't think he'd be best for this.
He's more smart on the.
Yeah, he's pretty smart with his humor.
And this one, not that this isn't smart, but it has to be just.
It's not smart.
Okay.
Don't give it
But
credit
there's an
where
art
credit's
to
not
that.
due. Yeah.
And the action, it's got to be heavy in the action. I just feel like, why not just play Borderlands though?
I mean, I wonder if they're gonna take from or add to the Tales from the Borderlands games.
Okay.
So the point and click adventures.
Gotcha.
Which would make sense. Those stories are supposed to be really good. I don't know if there's any action in those games whatsoever. I don't know. But they're supposed to be really good. I'm betting it never comes to light.
It's possible. I mean, we see this all the time with like movies that trade directors all the time.
Uncharted's on like its ninth director.
That's in big trouble. So I don't know. And it's one of those things where I don't really demand video games based on movies, really.
Yeah.
Because we just talked about The Last of Us. That's a franchise near and dear to my heart, but I don't think we need a movie because the game is a movie.
Yeah.
The game would be a better movie, way better than anything that could actually come out. With Borderlands, why not just spend hours in this world? The writing's already there, the events are already there, like the gameplay's with it too.
Yeah.
So what are we doing?
I would love to see it, and this is going to be completely random, but I would love to see a Duke Nukem movie.
Well,
but I think touch on like have him be out of place.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
He has no business being in 2020.
Yep.
And let's have it star Bruce Campbell as Duke.
Whoa, that's awesome. He would fucking nail that.
Or it'd be.
Be a parody, like
it'd have to be
reflection on everything, because he can't say or do anything now in this world. So how does he exist in that world? Is he trying to get better? Is he realizing he's an idiot? He's made all these mistakes, said all this horrible shit. Is he trying to change things? And and have more of a conscience now. I don't know.
I think you definitely have to have a kid, and it'd have to be about like that balance, and like they'd have to like learn from each other, and it's just like he learns to be but you still got to have those moments where Duke just does something batshit crazy off the wall, and you're like, yeah, all right. Like in my head, like to a certain degree, it almost makes me think of what was it, the MacGruber movie, where he keeps talking about throat tearing, and then he actually starts doing it. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude!
I love that movie.
Oh, it was so
fucking
funny.
hilarious.
I can't believe that actually got a movie.
Yeah,
and that it was good.
100%. So you're watching. I'm sure when they're filming it, it's like, how are they still letting us do this? This is an SNL skit. No,
it's crazy how some of the dumbest SNL skits have made. Like Night at the Roxbury is absolute classic.
Yeah, that one's tough, but there's like Coneheads. I love that movie. That was an SNL skit. I mean, there's tons that have been birthed from SNL.
Superstar.
Skits. Superstar. God, what are the other ones? Do you remember Pat? That you can't do that one now, but that was another big SNL skit. Yeah, Pat was this character that was like gender-wise ambiguous, and that was the joke in the skit, that no one could ever figure out what gender they were, and they didn't care, and so everyone just kind of like left it alone. But there's always another character that was like super obsessed with it, and it was weird. And they made 2 movies off of it, and it was hilarious because this guy just keeps getting it's great. But I don't know how you do that now and just like make it more appropriate. But that was one. There was Coneheads. I mean, there's plenty that I can't think of now, but there's plenty.
Yeah, there's.
And that's the whole thing.
I'm sure there was a Mike Myers one in there at one point.
Oh sure, yeah. Was oh god, yeah, I'm blanking on it. I know they have a deal with SNL where they kind of own the rights to whatever the movie rights to whatever skits are created there, and so they pumped out a bunch of them since then. Yeah, but yeah, we'll see how I don't know if that's the same for the Borderlands movie, but we'll see.
Oh, it's gonna be. I would love to be wrong. Yeah. I will not be wrong.
Well, Gavin, are you a big Platinum Games fan? We've talked about them in recent.
episodes. I like some of them. I still need to go back and finish. Astral Chain, because I was enjoying it. I just stopped playing it. Wrong link.
Either
that or you forgot to hit copy.
That's my life. Okay, so that is my little B-roll, Gavin.
Yep.
And the only reason why I bring that up is because Platinum Games is teasing a big announcement for February 27th. So this is...
It's exciting.
Yes.
I did see I thought I saw in a post someone saying that I guess they said that they won't be announcing anything Bayonetta 3 related, but there's also more to dig out of that Bayonetta 3 teaser that no one got, which is an interesting statement. You'd think it's the internet. People are going to read way too hard into everything and find everything. So the fact that people didn't is kind of impressive.
So there's apparently 4 announcements, right? So this announcement will be the second of 4. This the actual article is from Chris Priceman of PC Gamer, and the same things you're touching on. So I don't know where this announcement lies, but so apparently last year Platinum did tease that it was designing something that has never been done before. Quote. Since then, it's been pretty quiet about the mystery project. I don't know what that's a reference to. Maybe a new engine or something. But
no.
Gotcha. Just before bringing Bayonetta and Vanquish to PC in 2018, Platinum did say it was working on 2 self-published titles, and it sounded like they'd be original games rather than remasters or sequels. But you're thinking possibly not like a Bayonetta thing, or maybe they do touch on that tease.
I thought it was official that they weren't. I don't know. It's gonna be batshit crazy. Like when they say something that hasn't really been done before. Wonderful 101 is kind of
that's true
in that boat. It's not super like. It's not completely original, but it's mostly original. So, and they just make weird shit to begin with anyway. Like Vanquish is entirely unique. Astral Chain is very unique. Like a lot of the stuff they make is very unique and one of a kind. So what the fuck are they gonna make? I don't know.
I feel like Astral Chain had a lot of success. I know it's on Switch.
I think so.
On PC.
Yeah.
Do you think it's too early for them to do something with that? Or
absolutely. Also, I haven't beat it, so I don't know if the story lines up for that. I imagine. I don't know. It looked like the story was heading in the direction of it was going to be a one and done, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Like for them, what has never been done before mean? Are they gonna combine Are they gonna make a dating simulator MMO? Like
could
what?
Be, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, what does their definition of that mean? I don't know.
Well, the announcement is February 27th, so that's what 2-3 days from now.
Yeah.
So that's pretty soon. We'll see what they announce. Gavin got up next. THQ Nordic parent buys the Witcher 3 Nintendo Switch developer Saber Interactive. So this deal is worth up to $525 million. It sounds insane.
Can you imagine being a port studio and getting bought for that? Like,
yeah.
Good on them.
Yeah, Jesus. So the actual article here is from Eurogamer. Wesleyan Poole writes, the parent company of THQ Nordic, known as Embracer Group, has bought Saber Interactive, the studio behind the recent Witcher 3 Nintendo Switch port and World War Z, in a deal worth up to $525 million. Embracer bought Saber for an initial $150 million, with a maximum earnout of $375 million, depending on certain milestones. Embracer owns a huge number of development studios, including Little Nightmares maker Tarsier, Saints Row developer Volition, and Goat Simulator, most importantly, creator Coffee Stain. So just to put it to quantify the money, the amount of money spent. So Sony spent $229 million to acquire Insomniac Games in 2018, and then Microsoft acquired Mojang Minecraft for $2.5 billion in 2014. Widely different amounts, but just to quantify, like,
I wonder if they made how far on that billion they've made back.
Well, that's the thing, and they got Minecraft in 2014. This is into its success already.
That's well into
still
it.
Making more off of that, I don't know. I mean, it's still a widely successful game.
And you look at because Rockstar can make that back in one game.
Sure.
But this is also, the people that bought Minecraft since the very beginning of the game, they still have that same copy of Minecraft. It's still good.
Yep. Although it's on every platform, so chances are, because of that, you're going to buy it on your Switch, on your computer, on your console,
on your phone.
Yep, on your pizza phone.
On your pizza.
It's pretty amazing. So they must see a lot of potential in what they're doing, and you have that World War Z property in that as well. So that's a property that they feel like it has some legs where you could do a sequel. You can keep going with that.
I heard it was actually pretty fun. It was like a Left 4 Dead in a
thing.
world with no real Left 4 Dead aside from Vermintide.
No, you're right. They're definitely filling that void, and it seemed like on paper World War Z seemed like a hot mess, but apparently people dug it. So see how that goes.
I mean, you make a fun game. Sometimes they're fun.
Right? That's how the world works.
Our next story I'm very, very excited for.
Nice. I know you're a big fan. Well, I loved Shovel Knight, but I never
see, and I wasn't even that into it. But I still think the developer's incredibly talented.
Gotcha. Nice. So this is what we're referencing is Yacht Club has a Nintendo Direct-like stream next week to talk about life after Shovel Knight. So the actual article is from Destructoid. Brett Makedonsky writes, Yacht Club Games has spent nearly 7 years on Shovel Knight, with the final expansion, King of Cards, launching last December. We'll get an update on Yacht Club's going on Wednesday, February 26th at 9 a.m. Pacific. Yacht Club is hosting its second Nintendo Direct-like live stream to keep us abreast of the studio's projects. Some expected topics are Cyber Shadow, which this one looks super dope to me.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, we should watch some footage. It's a fast-paced side-scrolling platformer that will draw comparisons to Ninja Gaiden and developed by Mechanical Head Studios. And Shovel Knight Dig, a Shovel Knight spin-off in the vein of Dig Dug, which is being primarily developed by Nitrome.
And Nitrome makes some damn good games. They can do no wrong.
What are you imagining here with this stream? Because if they're going to have a stream, it's going to be somewhat of a lengthy thing, at least 5 minutes. So what are they going to announce in that 5 minutes?
I mean, my hope is that they announce the core team that makes Shovel Knight is finally announcing a new property that they're working on. And
because we talked about it, 7 years with Shovel Knight and all the different iterations on it.
In my opinion, that's too long. But that being said, I don't play these games. But I think, they're incredibly talented developers, and I imagine whatever they put out next will be great. I hope it doesn't have that dumb Souls-like revive aspect to it. I think we're finally done over everyone adding that to every single game now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if it's time. I don't know how long. Maybe they're making something smaller. I don't know how long it's going to take them.
I do hope it's still 16-bit because they've really nailed this art style, and they just I love it. So visually, I want to still have the same kind of idea, and gameplay-wise, I trust them to just make something really cool.
Right. I imagine it will be, but yeah, who knows? Maybe they're tired of that. They've been doing it for so long, but I doubt it. But
see, that's a good thing you point out. So in that same article, in an interview with Kotaku last year, Yacht Club founder Sean Velasco talked about the burnout from working on one project that long, and the need for a palette cleanser for the next game. So they are looking to switch it up, and so yeah.
What if they whip out something in 3D?
Whoa, damn!
It's not even pull a Risk of Rain 2.
Yeah, right, because that went from 2D to 3D.
And it thrived.
Yeah. That's a good challenge too as a dev, and just really switching it up by kind of changing what people were going to expect from them in the first place.
Yeah.
By going 3D.
So, I mean, they're talented.
Mm-hmm.
They clearly, like, they put out a lot of stuff in 7 years.
Yeah.
So,
That's dope. So that's very soon. They're having that announcement February 26th. So that is also another couple days away from now. Oh, so you didn't know what Cyber Shadow was? Let me drop this on your ass, Gavin.
Cyber Shadow with the generic title that you can't believe.
All right, but that's where this hate stops because you know what?
I'm sure like they were going for like from the tiny screenshot I saw of this, it looks like it's going to be. I mean, Cyber Shadow. You could totally have an NES or Super Nintendo game named Cyber Shadow that looks exactly like this, and no one would bat an eye.
Got some Castlevania.
God, that is just booking.
Look at that speed.
Your speedrunners are going to be all about this.
You got this intro that's very much like Ninja Gaiden.
Yikes.
Have you? I keep trying to play Ninja Gaiden every couple of years. It's so fucking hard.
It's unfair is the problem. It's not really fair.
God, I want to play this right now. There was that other ninja game.
Strider?
No, I played this a couple months ago. God, I always blank on the name, but it was not super similar to this, but it was very dope. But I'll bring this up after this.
Strider?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't Strider though.
Strider.
It may be. But what do you think about this so far? Is this kind of getting you going, getting your wet in your whistle?
It definitely looks like a fun game.
Metroid, Castlevania.
I just hope it's not too hard.
That's part of it. I need the baby mode for sure.
Yeah.
The Messenger is what I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Ninja
Yeah,
game.
it's very much like this. Sorry, I thought you were talking classic games.
Gotcha. Soundtrack on point.
Yeah, absolutely. They got that dang soundtrack. The graphics are great. Yeah, I wonder what part of, is this a different part of the studio that's making it? It sounds like it.
Mechanical Head is the actual.
Oh,
tab, so I don't
okay.
know if it's
Yeah.
just under their umbrella or what the deal is. But.
Yeah, somebody. I mean, yeah, that's pretty cool though.
Right.
So hopefully we get to see. Yeah, boy, that.
Woo. Now, Gavin, to get you energized after that yawn, we got No Man's Sky.
This almost got me to buy it.
Yeah?
I may still, but also I'm just worried, like, if I'm playing it and I'm just not having fun, like, how long am I gonna play for? That being said, like, I played one of my favorite games of last year was
Outer Worlds or Wilds?
Outer Wilds, and I wouldn't describe that game as fun, but it was definitely my favorite game of
there's
the whole
something
year.
about it. It was this exploration that was really intriguing and figuring out the story.
But that was also extremely authored, and they can do a lot with that. It does seem interesting. The ships here are big. One thing I really wish, especially because this game is basically pure streaming, there's not really load times.
Yeah.
And it makes me wish it had something that I think Warframe has, but certainly Outer Wilds has, where you can actually pop into your ship and like walk around it. Like, I think that would make it that much more immersive.
Oh, sure, because you're in your ship and that's it. So,
yeah.
But
I think your starting ships are typically very small.
They are.
So yeah, it'd be nice. I don't know if, because I know you can get like a freighter or bigger ships in this. I don't know if you can fly into them and walk around them.
You can. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I just dabbled. I never was able to build my own, but I've landed on other ones like that people have built.
Yeah.
Just leave behind. But so the whole thing is with No Man's Sky is this update is these biomechanical ships, so you can grow apparently from like an egg stage into these flying.
I think you can
living
like
things.
breed them or something, because I know they said there was a thing to the egg hatching to try and make them other bigger, better ones. Like, you're not making them more powerful in the traditional sense, which I don't know what that traditional sense is, but you're not doing it the way you would your regular
by
ship.
breeding, that's how you're. I guess do they eat?
Maybe,
but you're flying. We're seeing them fly around this egg thing, which I love that idea. These like just living beings in space.
And it's cool that they make you really work for it. It'll definitely be interesting to see. Like, I think they need, now that we have this, like, let's get a third kind of, you kind of have all these different types of ships.
Sure.
It's just that much more variety out there. It's really cool. Yeah. What a game, man.
Man, they keep adding to this.
That never gets old. Like, when they go from the ground to...
I think I do take it for granted now, but it's such a crazy concept.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a planet. You can leave. And just instantly you're in the universe and you can fly and zip around the cosmos, like with no loading.
Yeah.
That's kind of mind-blowing if you take a step back and think about it.
Well, I mean, remember how mind-blowing it was when you first saw it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
that's the thing. We're used to it now, but it's still a crazy thing that they were able to pull off.
Remember seeing it thinking, I've wanted this for years.
Right? Yeah. No, and they keep adding to it. It's I love that.
So, yeah, that's very cool.
do you think will be jumping in? Do you own a copy of No Man's Sky?
No.
Gotcha.
And it was on sale for $30 when this patch came out. So that's why I was like,
Yep.
But also I've been trying to save every dime I can. So I'm like,
Gotcha. Well, Gavin, we have some other video game / movie news. So this is
So what do Fortnite and Mandalorian have in common?
Well, let's see, Gavin. Good segue.
Both powered by Unreal.
Both now have V-Bucks or accept V-Bucks.
Oh my god.
So this is from Gizmodo, how ILM and Epic Games created virtual sets for the Mandalorian's first season. Julie Muncie writes some of the breakdown, then we'll watch a little bit of the footage here. VFX and filming are generally two separate parts of the complex process of making a TV show or film. You film this live action stuff, then you send it to have experts add visual effects in. Well, what if you want to do both at the same time using a video game engine? That's a solution Lucasfilm came up with The Mandalorian, anyway, which features a purportedly groundbreaking collaboration between Industrial Light and Magic on the one hand and Epic Games on the other hand to produce real-time digital sets using semicircular LED video wall and Epic's Unreal Engine. So it's pretty nuts. Yeah, there's huge LED walls. A set basically surrounds it, or it surrounds a set, and they
I actually haven't seen the footage of this.
Yeah,
by
it's
the way.
pretty nuts. So they project. They don't really actually project. It's on the LCD or LED wall rather,
Right.
and it's all in real time. And so there's a video to accompany this.
Just very
whole thing.
old school idea almost.
Oh yeah, because if you think of older movies, they would project onto the background. Also, like when there's those, and they do this in Kill Bill, those cheesy like when you're driving scenes.
Yeah,
just project
yeah,
behind you.
absolutely.
It's like that, but a million times more advanced. So let's look at the actual footage here. The virtual production of The Mandalorian Season 1. And we're just going to kind of scrub through and show you some of the examples. So they have the director here, Jon Favreau, kind of explaining. But
I really didn't know Jon Favreau was the director for this.
Yeah. And so that's kind of the concept, them circling around and seeing the environment. But I know there's a scene where they're showing them like manipulate in real time. But so they built this huge studio. Let me scrub through here. Circular studio, and they can actually bring in sets inside the studio too.
Yeah,
and then line it with those LED walls.
It is pretty impressive. I'd be curious to know how much you can really get away with this technique. And it's kind of strange too how it makes it. I mean, that just looks like the holodeck,
right?
But I guess there was a fair amount of props in there. They built quite a bit of stage for that, so it'd be interesting to see where it can be used, where it can't.
So like they'll build that, but everything around it, they'll just have the LED wall. Like you can kind of see with if you go for a second here, way in the background, there's like the sparks falling down. Like you can see I guess the frame rate is what gives that away. But
it probably looks better when you're actually there.
Sure, but also when you're filming, you don't need it to be highly detailed. It's in the background, so it can be a little bit blurry because you're focusing on the main thing anyways.
It is weird just seeing those actors like with the lady with the floppy thingies and the devil looking guy just chilling, waiting,
smoking, and some sandwiches. Have you finished The Mandalorian?
I haven't even started it.
Oh, dude, it's so fucking good. It's like one of my favorite Star Wars things I've seen. So here's another they talked about how they can flip between these two different sets that actually take place in, of course, different worlds, but like they'll shoot on site in different parts of the world.
Right. And I definitely imagine like that because they have it sounds like 3 of these, so you can have set people working on one while they're filming, and while another set crew is working on another.
So you can see them kind of twirling that around.
That's
in real
weird.
time. And by using that Epic's game engine, they can actually build stuff, put it on there, and like in real time manipulate the scene behind them.
Right. And you can still do you could do all that RTX ray tracing and stuff with that. They can still have Industrial Light and Magic.
Oh, that's so weird.
Doing stuff.
So the set was moving as they're moving too. Oh, okay, they're building they're updating it.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at there. And I imagine because you have the footage, it may be fairly easy to. I mean, I think if they're tracking the camera properly, they should be able to tell the difference between the pixels of the foreground, the people, and then the background. So you could, I think in theory, green screen it relatively easy. But I guess you got camera focus, which is an issue.
Apparently this helps with lighting too. So like his armor's reflective. You can actually you're beaming the actual scene on his armor, so it's just more natural.
So and that lighting alone is a big deal for making stuff not look fake. That's always a huge issue.
Yep.
God, that'd be weird to stand next to.
This show also had a lot of practical effects. As far as like the creatures, they wore actual suits, and I'm a big supporter of that. I always think it It lends well on camera more. So if you have, this might incentivize more studios if they're going to do this to have practical effects, because then you have lighting on that practical effect.
Yeah.
And it just helps and kind of discourages CG in those scenes.
I'd be curious to see if this kind of becomes the new, so you'll have a lot of film ranches. So it's like you have this big area that, it's different sets. So it's a lot of times what you'll see, like repeated like Western sets or Middle Eastern sets. And it's just like, I feel like I've seen this in a movie before.
Oh, sure. It's all the same Hollywood lot that you can
Right. It's all the same Hollywood lot. People just pay to film on it. So I imagine with this, that's a lot more capable. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So I'd be curious to definitely know what this, what this enables and what this, what it can't do.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks really cool. It's very interesting.
It is pretty much a merge of, game technology, video game technology with creating this background and then real life production on sets. It's pretty crazy.
It does, too, go to show just how powerful the Unreal Engine is. It's been able to put out, they've been saying for a while now, we can put out these stupid movie quality, real-time things. Or if you go beyond real-time, like a little bit rendered. And how long even would it take to render slightly better in that technology? I don't know. But
that's true. And then with these LED walls, like you're not having to send out a product that has to work on somebody's computer. They can have their incredibly like beefy machines processing everything to then project it. So there's not the limit of making sure this works on somebody else's rig. It's like you control that. Yeah. And then so the sky's the limit.
I guess that's something I'm just now thinking about. That would have to be a beefy ass machine that can run that resolution.
Oh, it's like a room full of computers. I imagine it's actually it's underwater just to deal with the heat.
Right. But, I'm sure it is liquid cooled. So let's do. Are these our last stories here?
Mm-hmm.
So these are two games. One last night I was playing called World of Horror. It's now out in early access. I've been following this on Twitter for what feels like years and years and years, and it's looked creepy for fucking years. I can't even tell if there's big hype or I just saw a lot on my Twitter and I'm hyped. But it looks so creepy. It's got this weird like. I don't know if typically like Japanese and Eldritch horror have been combined. I think it's Japanese. But yeah, that's kind of what this weird vibe that it gets. And it's so creepy. And I'm still stuck on the first level because I can't beat the boss. Okay. She's terrifying.
Right. So you're just kind of like slowly looking at it. And
right. And I will say, though, if you're not a horror fan, which I'm not, so far it hasn't been scary. It's just creepy.
Gotcha.
Like nothing is fun to look at.
Right. Are they going for more of like just like horrible imagery or terror or something?
Yeah.
And not jump scares.
Yeah. So it's not pleasant to look at. A lot of people have like nasty cuts, like corpses eaten by spiders, just things that would be upsetting. Stuff, and it eats away at your character's sanity, a little bit of your sanity. So
do you have a sanity meter? Almost like that. There's that GameCube game that's really popular where it was controlling your sanity.
I imagine it's different.
Gotcha.
It was kind of funny though when I was playing, and I don't know if you generate the same character every time, but the guy I was playing as, he's just sitting there smiling. He's got his like schoolboy outfit, and as I'm like being beaten to an inch of my life, like I have cuts and stuff on my clothes and face, but I'm still smiling.
Oh god.
As I'm being destroyed by this woman with 3 heads.
Wow, it sounds like a nightmare. So let's watch this actual nightmare unfold.
Yeah.
So it's called World of Horror is the first
World of Horror.
Yes. Yeah. So right off the bat, it's like a point and click style gameplay. Is what's going on.
And they call the art style 1-bit, which technically it's not. Okay. And also, so I would recommend, but people can do whatever they want. But I would recommend turning on 2-bit, so you get a third color, which is just gray.
Do you have that option?
Yeah, right out the gate. Okay. So you can sort of see it there. There's some gray, and I think it looks way better with gray. You can also tweak the palettes. So you could have like black or like, it could be like a blue. Yeah. You could have that's the first monster. She's terrifying. Oh God. Or the first boss. It's just a lot of that thing. I think it's funny that it won't let you open the door again once you open it. And it's just like, oh wow. It's like, I don't want to do that again. It's like, yeah, but I do. Like, let me.
It's just so stuff is almost burned in your brain and you can't see it again. Yeah. What do you think about the gameplay? How is that? Is it fun? Is it engaging?
I'm not loving it so far, but that doesn't mean I won't.
So I've never sat down and played a point and click.
Yeah, and it's very text heavy. You're definitely like, if reading's a deal breaker for you, it's not the game for you. But it's interesting.
I can handle Roman numerals earlier, so
Yeah.
I can handle reading this.
It's definitely like they're showing a lot of symbolic, like runes and symbols.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a part of it. So you'll be tracing those, doing rituals. There was a thing in a fight that I couldn't figure out where you need to do like bows and claps in a specific order to do something to the enemy, but I couldn't figure it out.
Oh, okay.
And
you have a
what's
sanity
this
meter?
creepy fucking thing on her
I
face?
do not know. Oh god.
Yeah, so you have sanity, you have stamina, you have other stats as well, and I don't know what 90% of them do. I didn't know what half the stuff in combat did, which is probably a bad idea. I should probably do the combat tutorial again, or maybe it just doesn't care that I don't know about that stuff yet.
Okay.
But I'm having a very hard time beating that first boss, and I have a feeling that's part of the reason why. Or maybe I'm just not understanding how to, I don't know, do it properly. But it's cool.
Gotcha.
It's been
I do want to play this. It's apparently on Switch too. So.
in Game Pass. You can play it on your lappy toppy.
The lappy toppy. But it always works with no hitches, so that's good to know.
I mean, this will definitely work on your laptop with no hitches. I can promise you that.
I can't handle the 2 pixels or whatever you're talking about, but I can handle 1 pixel.
Yeah, you can handle 1 bit, but not that 2 bit.
That's true. Well, with the power of 12 teraflops, then we can finally handle that. Gavin, tell me a little bit about this next one, Audica.
So Audica, I feel like was announced a long time ago by Harmonix. It is a VR music game. I feel like it came out or was announced well after Beat Saber, but it's really nice, and I think it's a solid alternative. And Baron, I still think Beat Saber, and people that have played it said like even if it doesn't look that fun to you, play it. It's super fun.
Yeah, apparently it's like a VR killer app, but
yeah,
I haven't played it.
But this is sort of way different take on it. This is more about guns, and it was really cool. I was watching somebody, and I don't know how he was testing it. I didn't see anyone else playing it on Twitch last night. But yeah, so he's playing it, and so it looked lame. Like the graphics aren't that pretty, and I think that's definitely one thing Beat Saber has down. Like those graphics are fucking gorgeous.
But now you're watching, at least with the stream you're talking about, you're seeing the footage that's still like rendered differently because it's not on the headset, or
no, this was the headset footage.
Okay,
but yeah,
gotcha.
like there weren't very. I mean, it was kind of low poly, and it's like I feel like you could polish it up a little bit,
I see.
make it look better, especially on lower difficulties. It was very boring. It's like watching a low difficulty Guitar Hero song. Like that's shit's boring.
Right.
But then they were like, turn up. People were saying turn up the difficulty. It adds this mechanic, and then he turned it up, and it added these 2 mechanics. So you're like holding. You're shooting at different angles.
Oh, weird.
You have like bars. So if you watch some like high difficulty Audica gameplay,
Yeah.
it's can we do Audica high difficulty in YouTube? Hold on, you want to do that in the YouTube search bar?
High difficulty. Bam. I love that it autofills. Adrenaline Z, great
Zed.
expert Audica 90%
There you go.
run.
Like this will be, I'm sure, this is actually Zed playing it. But yeah, you can already see the graphics aren't that impressive. It's pretty low poly. But yeah, when you see the mechanics start to fly, this game is just absolutely nuts. And I'm sure this feels super cool.
So you're trying to shoot and aim it at a certain... Oh, God. So I can already tell this is nuts, but he's aiming things at the right time.
Yeah.
And then shooting those items. And the color corresponds with the right controller you have. Okay.
Yeah. And there's sometimes you hold it down and it just keeps this electric shot going, and you're swatting stuff.
Can you hold the trigger and like spray? Is that what he's doing, or he's
Yeah.
pressing it down? Okay. But you still have to hold it and aim it. That looks super dope. Of course, this is expert, so it's insanely hard. But
Right. And I think it does give you a decent amount of like aim assist, but like it's
Okay.
still the timing is the bigger important factor.
I see what you mean with the low poly too. They could, in theory, it seems like you could polish it a bit more.
Oh yeah. Like I know they're aiming for clarity, but you can still make this look cool and be clear.
Yeah. And this definitely is different than Beat Saber. Like it's still a music-based, timing-based mechanic, but you're shooting. What is this going on? With the
You just have to hold it, but sometimes you'll have to hold it and swat stuff away.
Oh, okay. It's pretty fucking cool. Like when it works,
Right?
I imagine you feel pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Jesus. When you got the song going, and Zed's that like a DJ, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm hip, Gavin. I'm cool. I know what's going on with the kids. So you swat those asteroids. Okay.
It is definitely like I would like to know which one you look dumber playing this or Beat Saber.
Where you just Either way, it's not gonna get you.
Right. Maybe you look like a
spouse.
conductor when you're playing this. I don't know.
That's dope. Yeah, I think the original trailer I had was like just like a basic version of this, where it seemed more like understandable as far as like from a layman's term.
Right.
But then
see, the guns even look better in this.
Interesting. This is PSVR footage, so I don't know if it's. I imagine, but PSVR is always like behind the times when it comes to like the quality of it. But
yeah. I have a feeling this was like Target footage. This is what we want this to look like.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, those guns look better. The environment looks slightly better. I don't know. Maybe the other person was playing on. Yeah, the electricity looks better. Yeah, literally everything looks better.
Their computer, what their.
You got those cool. I'm sure those particles, those big particles.
Is it all
are,
EDM kind of stuff? I'm not the biggest fan. I don't mind it. I'm not the biggest fan of like the EDM stuff.
I couldn't tell you.
Gotcha. Ooh, okay.
So the answer is a big maybe.
That's a really great idea. I need a PSVR. I need a VR capable thing in some form.
Right.
There's all these games I'm missing out on. Beat Saber's another one. Also, oh god, what's the game where the bullet time is as you move, it moves? Not hot cold. It's like super hot.
Super hot. Yeah. There's another really cool rhythm-based shooter. I forget what it's called, but it's basically in my mind. Have you seen it? It's basically John Wick, the rhythm game.
No. Do you know what it's called?
I don't know. VR rhythm shooter. Type that in. Okay. We'll see. It looks absolutely insane. Pistol Whip. Dude, this looks so fucking cool.
Interesting.
This is You Are John Wick, the game.
Nice.
And you can play it without doing stuff to the rhythm, but you are rewarded.
Right, to be in time.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I've seen footage of the actual footage of a person playing it before. I didn't know it was music based or rhythm based.
Yeah, this trailer isn't doing a very good job of.
If I ever become a game developer, I'm definitely gonna have this set up too. I want the turtleneck. I want the weird computer chair. Like I'm just some badass in the layer.
I'm a hodgepodge of Steve Jobs and
this guy also. They're just stepping up the ante. Are they in the video game? Are these characters in the video game?
Is there? Can we get like proper footage of this and not like the?
This guy's out of it. In here.
Yeah, this just looks like a Kickstarter trailer.
Right, right.
I like how your gun's bitching out when you're firing it. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty dope. Yeah, I have seen stuff on this. I didn't realize it was rhythm based.
I think so.
And I like the ducking mechanic. I just like when I think of VR, I like that ability.
Yeah.
So what is he playing on? An Oculus something? Maybe?
Yeah.
Something like we did for Valve with the Hand Labs experience.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Just don't walk by anyone playing this game.
Right. Absolutely. They're going to be coming at you from all angles.
Yeah, the pizza
It's
guy.
that Simpsons thing where if you get hit, it's your fault. I'm just wailing my arms and walking forward.
Yep.
See,
Nice.
I know Simpson
It's
reference.
Funny, the Simpson references. I don't know.
You don't know that
show.
one?
I'm sure it happens in the show, but I just can't think of it.
I think it was like a classic, like Lisa and Bart were pissed at each other, and like so he's just like, I'm gonna wail my hands and walk forward, and if you get hit, it's your fault. And she starts like kicking forward.
Gotcha.
So I think that was. I feel like I'm missing something.
I mean, all the big ones I think we covered there. It's been a good hour.
Oh, Grand Theft Auto 4 is back.
Oh, sure.
But
not really, or sort of.
Yes, is back, but without multiplayer on PC, which kind of sucks. But it was firmly built into there, so it's kind of hard to deal with.
So what was the deal? There was just buggy.
It's game for Windows. It was fully integrated into the game. It's game for Windows Live, and they can't take it. They can't really take it out. So you couldn't even really play the game, to my understanding. So yeah, now it's back. You can play it, but you can't do Windows Live. Another fun one to stuff. I saw this on Gamasutra. Tempo Storm, which is a esports corporation.
I do have that one. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, owns teams. Raised $33 million to do some game development, apparently for a.
Seems nuts to me.
Right? So I've
this
never.
wasn't crowdfunded. This is just a separate. funding.
Right. So they've got big daddy business is paying for that. So they have people to answer to. But yeah,
does this set a precedent? Because there's other groups like this. There's like 100 Thieves. There's these well-known, multiplayer gaming like groups that have come together.
I don't think anyone's done this.
Gotcha.
So this is, but I
never
mean,
heard of
there have been
Superstorms.
plenty of like people who didn't make games before that now do. Like you look at Penny Arcade, you look at Game Grumps,
Okay.
who are on their second game now.
I
Like
didn't realize that.
these people that don't. Well,
There's a Rick and Morty guy.
yeah,
There's
Rick and
some-
Morty and those games are great. Even the card and board games too that they make.
Okay.
So this is, I don't know that there's been a esports company that has gone out and done this. So this is very, very interesting. I know they said they had a card game that they're looking to dive into that I'd never heard of. I don't think this article has it. Maybe it does.
I thought they did mention Tempo Storm's first game, The Bazaar, will be deck building card
Yeah, the
game.
Bizarre.
Organization is also working on Game Changers, a live stream travel
Now
show.
it says deck building card game, and I would absolutely love, because most of these online card games have been CCGs, right? They've been Magic the Gathering. They've the what's the Blizzard one?
I know what you're talking about, but I'm blanking on the name.
Yeah, so these games where you buy these packs and you build them up and you get your deck and you go. And this says deck building, and a deck builder is different. They're definitely related, but a deck builder is different than a CCG. And I like deck builders. I don't like CCGs. I would love to see a competitive deck building game. I think that would be really fun and exciting, and I'd be all over it. Like I have one on my phone that I play when I'm just bored and I have 5 minutes. So
I'm sweating just thinking about this, Gavin.
I hope, the Bazaar. I need to look up the Bazaar and see if there's anything known on it. I feel like there's not, but maybe there is. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. Another one in the fighting game world. Street Fighter V has a PC fan-made hack that fixes the terrible netcode in Street Fighter V. It's notoriously bad netcode, and this guy has a fan-made hack that fixes it. Now, does it give you an unfair advantage? Yes. If you're on PC, your game is just running better. And they put out an update that they said was going to be focused on online stuff, and it appears that the only thing it does is break the mod that allows you to play better.
Okay.
Or that fixes their game. So that's basically it sounds like
I wonder
all
if
it
there's footage
did.
of this, but I can't really see that.
I mean, how would you know?
Yeah,
Like the only thing is if you, so upshot is bug, one side rollback for one player. Yeah, and rollback netcode is what is people are crying for on the fighting game scene, because for the games that have this rollback netcode, and I couldn't explain how it works, but it's been really good in all the games that have done it. So
does this affect or at all the we talked about Evo coming up, and this is what a game that's still on the Evo lineup. Does that affect that at all coming up?
no, because that's live,
Okay.
so you're not networked. And then
gotcha.
basically when you play it there, they have one system. A lot of times it's a PC because it'll run faster. So they'll have a PC with controllers coming out each end and a monitor facing two ways, or sometimes they'll put people side by side. Side by side's not as common as it used to be because
Okay.
you can just split it. But yeah, it's weird.
Well, Gavin, I'm hot and bothered just hearing about that.
Hot
Street Fighter.
and bothered. But yeah, it is kind of unfair because there was crossplay, so you could play against somebody on a console, and they're fucked because their version is inferior.
Now, so this is a modder making this fix to the netcode. Does that incentivize the devs to do anything, or are they just kind of like back
It
out?
should have.
Gotcha.
But
do you think
they
historically does that kind of thing happen? Do they borrow some of this or like work with the community to implement this?
You'd hope, but it seems like no.
I see. It's good. Now we're good.
I like the subtitle of this, which is "Smack It Loss." That's classic.
What is that reference to? I'm a baby when it comes to this fighting game
It's a reference to packet loss, but since it's a fighting game, it's
Gotcha.
"Smack It Loss."
There's so many layers of nerdiness. It's hard to navigate what's going on.
Right. But yeah,
Nice.
so that was. I think those were my two that didn't get hit, and yeah,
Gotcha.
interesting week.
Jam packed with some news, and I can't wait to go back to playing some Fortnite. I've been
Oh my
I've been
God.
bored talking to you this whole time, and we got to play some Fortnite.
Now, have you gotten any wins during your?
I have. You know what? That might have been what spurred me getting back into it. Was the first time I played, I got a battle royale, and that was historically hard for me to do. And now it's somewhat just doable now. Like oftentimes I'm like top 10, top 15, and I think I won one other time that night. So yeah, like that little bit gives me that hit of whatever into my system where it's like, okay, yeah, there's something here. So yeah, I'm having fun.
It just blows my mind, like winning that game, because when I watch people play, it's just batshit. And now I realize streamers are aiming for the action.
Sure.
And like the one time I played and I got a top 5, it was because it was literally my first time playing ever, and I couldn't find anyone.
Oh, that's a tactic. I hide a lot of the time.
I wasn't hiding. I was chasing. Okay. I was just like, oh, there's a hole in that wall. Well, there's weapons here, so I'll take those. So I was getting all kitted up.
Yeah.
I think I killed one person. Yeah, and then I got to the final person and just...
Yeah. No, when it comes to the build tower battles, I always fail at that.
Right.
But if I'm fighting somebody else that is just shooting me, then I can usually hold my own. But often I'm hiding a lot of the time, and that's a good tactic to just weed out all the other people. But that was one thing I forgot to mention in this new update with Fortnite, is that they added this like weird semi-single player thing into the Battle Royale, where there's these like secret hideouts that are guarded almost like Metal Gear Solid, where there's these like cronies or like soldiers that guard this place. They're NPCs. You can shoot them. You can take their key codes and like unlock better loot within this guard hangout. And there's like a main boss within there. So there's all these like different levels of just playability. Fun? It's fun. Yeah. It's like, so there's always better loot there. So everyone else is dropping. There's multiple locations.
Oh, but it's still multiplayer?
It's in the regular Battle Royale. So like amongst the whole world map, there's these places that just have better loot, and they're controlled by the NPCs, and you can battle them, and that there's a risk reward thing there.
That makes me think of there's this game, I think it's called Vicious Circle, but I could be wrong. It's like it's on Epic Store. It might even be free.
Okay.
Vicious Circle.
So familiar that art there on Steam?
Is that the game that's made by Rooster Teeth?
Huh. So we're looking up, Rooster Teeth. Is that at all what you're thinking?
I heard this game wasn't very good. No, it's not what I was thinking. Gotcha. But yeah, there's some sort of I think it's an Epic exclusive.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a battle royale, but it's also largely not. It's got a lot of PvE, PvP. It's just sort of all over the place. So that's what that reminds me of. I wonder if they took a few hints.
I wonder if it's in house or whatever. They can just be like, yoink, we're gonna take this idea and pop it into Fortnite.
Yeah.
Fortnite's making the money.
I mean, considering how they like out a battle royale the first place.
Oh sure. Like, and they moved that whole team to like, or most of it to battle royale, because it was initially working on the Save the World mode, and now it's just kind of.
Well, and I don't even know if they did move the team, because I know that team that was working on that is now working on that new Gears-like shooter for Square Enix. People can fly people.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. I
assume they were just like all hands on deck.
That's the thing with game dev. Like it's almost impossible to know. You know, when people say it's this team that worked on this, is like how much of that team is still there.
Right. That's true. Interesting.
So,
well, Gavin, a whole chunky week for us to put our teeth into.
I like my weeks thick.
Yep. That's 3 C's there.
3 C's. Let's get it to 4.
Let's get it to 4 next week. Gavin will end it there. Where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Drunk Devs. I never post.
Well, good advertisement. You can find us on Plastic Heart Pod on Twitter as well. That is it for us this week. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Pew, 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 pew.